Welcome to Team Lonely Child Boxing, keeping it real boxing, everything boxing, man. How y'all doing out there today? And we got a lot to get into. Man. There's a lot to bust down. Shout out to the Boxing the DC group, man. I know y'all up in here. Also, on Saturdays, look out for my brother Basement Box Talking, and on Sundays, look out for my man Black Star Sports TV. Also, while I'm giving out the plugs, they got a boxing versus that goes down on Tuesday. Knockouts with Nokia YouTube page at 8:30, where those that believe they know everything they need to know about boxing, you can actually get in the ring and debate other people who got platforms on the various boxing topics, man. So check that out on Tuesdays, man. But we're gonna get hot and heavy into this right now, man. Listen, as we come in here, man, put your comments in the section. Who you think won the Charlo fight and Costano fight this weekend? Who you think really won? Was it a robbery? Was it a bad decision? Did he get a hometown situation? What really went down? We're gonna go deep into this one, man. I know this one gonna take a minute. All right. So first of all, let's talk about it, right? Saturday night, undisputed fight, undisputed championship at 154 pounds went down. Jamel Charlo got it on with Brian Costano, and the ending didn't quite go the way a lot of people wanted it to go. But to me, I'm not gonna lie, I had it a draw. And I'm not saying it for being favorable for any side. I had it a draw for one very reason. Put your comments in the comment section who you think won. You can say, it don't matter what your scorecard was if you had one, or just who you felt won the fight. I thought it was a draw. I didn't think either guy did enough to. Okay, you can't take it away from Costano for the way he fought. He fought hard. He was able to back Charlo up. He was able to make Charlo fight in ways that he didn't want to. Both fighters gave us a top. Hold on. Both, not a robbery. Both fighters gave us a top level fight. 117, 111 was ridiculous. I agree. I think we all agree. I think we all can agree that the 117, 111. I think the whole world is. Whoever that judge is, I don't think he's going to be judging too many more fights, because the whole world is in the uproar over that 117, 111. We all can agree that's garbage. But like I said, my honest to gut feeling, I had it a draw, because to me, to take the fight from Costano would be horrid. But I didn't think he did enough to necessarily snatch the undisputed from Jamel either. I think both of them left meat on the bone. You know what I mean? A draw was a good call, but Charlo better do more pressing next fight. We're gonna get to that. I had it a draw, but I just want to know what everybody thought. James, what was your actual scorecard though? It don't matter who you gave it to, but what was your actual scorecard and who it was for? Like I said, I had it a draw. I think it was a few rounds that I saw on the Fairhood card that I was like, okay, you gave Costano that round, but he really didn't throw that many punches. You know what I mean? It was a round that they gave to Costano that I think, like, for half of the round, he wasn't really throwing that many punches. You know what I mean? And then I think one judge I saw gave the actual round that Charlo rocked him. He gave Costano that round. So, I mean, you know what I mean? But like I said, I had Charlo by a point. Can't argue with a draw. I was cool with a draw. I was like, yeah, make them do this again. Because I didn't want whoever lost the fight, because we got to get a rematch. We'll get into all of what everybody's talking about with the mandatories and all of that. We'll get into that. But me personally, I'm glad they called it a draw, because I didn't want nobody to lose no confidence. I didn't want nobody to come in the second fight overconfident. That way, both fighters come into this rematch hungry, because I do believe the next fight is going to end in a knockout. When they get back in the ring, they ain't going 12 rounds. They're not going to leave it to the judges, because, hold on, it was an even fight. That one score was horrible. Draw was the only way to call it, because it would have been controversy if it was a winner. I agree. I absolutely agree. Not necessarily for the controversy, but it would have been. No matter what. I mean, they're going crazy over a draw. So I know they'll go crazy. They would go crazy if they was crowned the winner. The Charlo fans would have been in an uproar, and just like the Costano fans are even in an uproar right now. You know what I mean? So it do look okay. The feel of it, the overall sense of what's going on social media is more people saying they thought Costano won than Charlo. That's fine. But to me, I didn't think he did enough to snatch the undisputed. You know what I mean? Because this is a major fight. This is huge. You know what I mean? The winner of this fight changes the whole landscape of boxing. And I just thought that the last half of the fight, Costano was really in survival mode for most of that part right there. And in the first half, Jamel just wasn't busy enough. He just wasn't busy enough. You know what I mean? You know, we can get into that. He just wasn't busy enough. And I'm to be honest, I don't know why he wasn't listening to his corner. You know, I see people all up and down social media shredding Dirk James, but Dirk James, we need a rematch now. The heck with these silly mandatories. Both for the top two fighters at 154. I could care less about the alphabet. I agree. 100. That's 100. I absolutely 100% agree with that right there. You know, let me put that back up there so y'all can see that again. I agree. They need the rematch now. You know what I mean? This is where some, you know, this is where the powers that be just got to put their foot down and say, listen, man, we can play this alphabet game with these belts and make them fight mandatories and all that, or we can put these boys, put this thing right back, because this is, we will pay to see this rematch. We'll pay to see the rematch. The money is there, the hype is there, the anger is there, the controversy is there. Everything's there to do the rematch now. So I agree. We need to do the rematch right now. But, you know, this particular fight, like I said, I'm going to go back to it. I don't know why Charlo didn't listen to Dirk James. You know what? Dirk James today, they owe Dirk James an apology, because this man is getting dragged through the mud. This man is getting dragged through the mud all up and down social media by different people. You know what I'm saying? Because they saying, oh, he wasn't telling Charlo what he needed to do. He didn't train Charlo right, bruh. Everything he told Charlo to do, when he did it, it worked. You know what I'm saying? Everything he told Charlo to do, when he did it, it worked. Everything, he broke down, he told his fighter everything he needed to know. So why his fighter didn't choose? Listen, Sugar Ray Leonard told me something a long, long time ago. When we was standing outside, we was outside of a fight one night, and he said, listen, man, sometimes, man, it doesn't matter about your athletic ability. Sometimes it doesn't matter how good your training is. Sometimes it comes to, and what I'm about to say, I'm not questioning Jamel Charlo's heart. But sometimes in a fight, you got to make a decision. And in that decision, you got to go off this and this alone. Sometimes the mechanics is there, the athleticism is there, but your mind and your heart just won't let you do it. For some odd reason, he was not letting his hands go. His corner told him everything he was supposed to do. If he lets his hands go and he presses like his corner told him to do, we're not even talking about a decision right now. We're not even talking about a robbery right now. I don't think there's no way that Costano could have survived if Jamel would have put his foot on the gas. But for whatever reason, he would. The Jamel Charlo that fought Tony Harrison the first time showed up. And I'm not saying who the real winner of the first Tony Harrison Charlo fight was. I'm just saying he fought that same manner, because if he put his foot on the gas in that fight, I don't think we're talking about, you know, a robbery of that first fight. But, you know, sometimes it comes down to that. You know what I mean? When all the marbles on the line, sometimes you got to look at it. Okay, he's not moving the way I want him to move. He's not swinging the way I want to swing. The card's not going the way I want to go. Then eventually, after a while, a fight got to break out. You know what I'm saying? He let Costano push him to the ropes and run numbers. The only time he ran numbers was when he pushed him to the ropes. I'm not mad at Costano for doing what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? Costano did what he needed to do to try to get his victory. But where I will take away from Costano is you didn't fight like you normally fight either, because Costano is known for throwing a bunch of punches. He's known for throwing, you know, almost 80 to 100 punches around. He wasn't doing that. Now, granted, you're in the ring with a bigger puncher, so that would lead you to be a whole lot more cautious when you come in your punches. But as the fight goes on and you see the last 3 or 4 rounds where you're not as active except for trying to fight Jamel off you, that could lead the judges to give all those rounds to them. You know what I mean? So, I mean, all y'all out there in the comment section, just put in there. Tell me who you thought won. Was the decision justified? Do you think? Do you? I mean, was it a robbery? Are you cool with a draw? I mean, tell me what y'all think. Tell me what you want. I'm telling you, to me, I'm satisfied with the draw. I scored it a draw. You know what I mean? I scored it right down the line. You know what I mean? I saw it around, and I thought that honestly, once he didn't get him out of there when he hurt him in the second round, I said this is gonna be a long night. This is gonna be a long night. This is gonna be a long fight. You know what I mean? So it just happens that way. It just happens that way. But tell me what y'all think in the comment section. Tell me who you thought won. Tell me who you thought won, man. I mean, it don't matter. There's no wrong answers in this one. I mean, I seen plenty of people that said they thought Costano won. There's no problem with that. Uh-oh. I think the setup was in another payday. What other 54 is out there? Go with the draw. Too many toss around. Actually, I'm gonna say this. I think. Listen, that was a hard decision for the judges. That was a hard decision. That was a hard decision for the judges. I'm not gonna lie. I would have hated, except and I really would hate to be the one that scored at 117, 111. I don't know where he was at. I don't know what bar he went to. I don't know. I agree with everybody. He wrote that score down Friday night when he was at the bar. I don't know what fight he watched. There's nowhere in the world anybody that watched that fight can score at 117, 111 for either one of them. So I don't know what that judge was on. I don't know what he was doing. Listen, I don't mind him scoring it for Charlo. I get that. He can score for Charlo. But to call that joint 117, 111, that's crazy. You know what I mean? At best, I would have had it 114, 113, something like that, or 115, 113 for Charlo if you was going to score it that way. If you had it 115, 113 for Costano, no problem. That's why I say if one judge gave it to him, one judge gave it to the other one called it straight down the middle, let's do it again. Run it back. Run it back. You know what I'm saying? Run it back. You know what I'm saying? So what else? Anybody else got anything on that topic before we get into this Bud Crawford thing? But that's the topic. That's another hot topic this weekend. Bud Crawford was all over social media, talking about Charlo, talking about Earl, talking about this, that, and the third. It was a lot that came out from that side of the street, during this whole podcast. So, what y'all think about that? Me personally, I'm tired of the nonsense. I'm just going to be honest. I'm tired of the nonsense. Listen. I don't care who he fight. Okay. I just can't understand why Charlo let up. He had him hurt bad a few times. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Two things happened when Charlo had him hurt. One, he didn't really press because I guess, listen, when you're in the ring with somebody sometimes, man, and you want to press them out and all that, but they kind of tricky and they throw little like rapid hooks and like Costano is good. You could tell Costano is good in an exchange. So I guess Jamel didn't want to overexert himself going for the knockout and get caught in the exchange by something that he can't see coming because he's going for the knockout. He was a little extra cautious, a little more cautious than he needed to be. See what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons why he didn't get a knockout. Plus, Costano had a bite. Costano wasn't just gonna stand there and let him knock him out. You know what I mean? He got ghosts. He started moving. He started and he was moving and he was moving a lot quicker than Jamel could get to him. He was faster on his feet than Jamel thought he was. So I mean, I can understand why he didn't get the knockout, and I can understand why he kind of held up. See, what Jamel went wrong was like when hurt Costano fought back hard. It wasn't simply a matter of conundrum. That's true too. And he moved. You know what I'm saying? And he moved. You know what I mean? And he was and he wasn't a sitting duck. He fought back in spurts. He fought back as he collected himself. He fought back as he got himself together. Yeah, that was smart. Listen, there's nothing you can say bad. I mean, both fighters made mistakes in this fight that caused it a draw. We're not going to take away from that. But meanwhile, you can't take away from what they did in the ring. They both came with strategies and had to re-strategize in order to get it. They just didn't, to me, neither one did enough to supplant themselves as the clear winner to me. You know what I mean? That's why I would have called it. That's why I've, called it a draw, and I'm glad they called it a draw, because to me, I think it would have been horrid to take that fight from either one of them under those circumstances. You know what I'm saying? So, I have no problem with the draw. But like I said, in the mechanics, like I said, Jamel definitely, like I said, well, I think Jamel definitely went wrong. I'm just gonna put it like this. When Derek James told him to stay on his front foot and don't back up and just push him back, everything off the jab and continue to go forward to push him back, I think he could have created another opportunity, a better opportunity to get Costano out of there versus catching him coming in. I was cool with a draw because neither of them stood out as the clear winner. I agree. You know what I mean? I have no problem with the draw. Yeah, I have no problem with it. I mean, like I said, run it back. I definitely think that the second fight will not go to the cards. I don't see anybody I don't see this fight going to the cards in the rematch. I think definitely will be, a high action fight. Glad you mentioned Derek James. He will be the reason the second fight will be different. He should have been the reason the first fight was different. You know what I mean? I just, speaking of Derek James, I just think it's crazy. Like they're dragging this man's name all up and down Twitter and social media. Oh, he's not that good of a coach. He's overrated. Charlo's overrated. What are y'all talking about? What are you talking about? This is the best versus the best. This is an undisputed championship. Yes, Charlo came in as the favorite. Yes, Charlo came in with more hype and fanfare because he has 3 of the belts and he's recently coming off a big win over Rosario. That doesn't negate the fact that this boy, this guy, I'm not calling him a boy, no disrespect, but that Costano earned his ticket to the dance by beating Patrick Testora. But also he looked better. Brian Costano looked better against Erslan Lara than Canelo did. Not to come up for Canelo. We'll talk about him later. I'm just saying, this dude earned his ticket to the dance. He's fought some top-tier fighters. He beat Earl in the amateurs. He's not no walk in the park. You know what I mean? So you can't be overrated fighting somebody that's on that level. You know what I mean? Hey, just because a fighter have a close fight don't mean they're overrated. We got to stop that as fans. See, this is also the problem when it comes to the fans that, listen, y'all can't complain when fights don't happen, and then when fights do happen, oh, they overrated, they trash, they this. You can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? You can't have it both ways. Dirk James brought Charlo to this point is not due to a lack of magic words in the corner that this ended in the quarter. Exactly. Because like I said, he was specific. How many times we watched fights in the corner to say, hey, man, just throw this punch. No. Derek James broke down to him. Look, man, stop backing up. Use this to blunt his offense when he come in. Use your shoulder to blunt some of the punches that come. Every time he listened to Derek James, Derek James said, look, man, come out there. This round, don't back up. The round that he didn't back up, he hurt him. You know what I mean? So I can't blame the corner. The corner told him what he needed to do. And let's break down one more thing. In the beginning of the last round, when he told him he needed a knockout, that was part A. I need you to go for the gusto because we really don't want to lead this fight to the cards because it is that close. But B, I want you to go all out and give your all out effort. And to be honest, he still didn't do it. He didn't do that in the 12th. I thought he did enough to edge the 12th, but he didn't go out there to try to end the fight in the 12th. He didn't go out there to try to supplant the fight in the 12th. You know what I mean? I agree, but Charlo wasn't listening. That's what I'm saying, and James will have him even ready for Costano in the rematch. I agree. It's a lesson learned. He was humbled at the end of the fight. He was humble. You know what I mean? Because he really wanted to be undisputed. So, they're gonna run it back. I got all the faith in the world. They'll run it back. We'll see a Costano, Charlo too, and it's gonna be a lot of fireworks. I believe Costano is going to be. I believe Costano is going to be even more aggressive in the second fight as well. I believe he's going to come in and try to actually, because it was a couple times. Listen, it was a couple times he stood Jamel up. I don't know if he was hurt, but it was a couple times he stood up and had to, you know, had to re adjust himself to whatever he just got hit with. So it wasn't no walk in the park. So I believe Costano will be even more aggressive in the rematch and come out there and try to get it done. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that pans out. Also, let's get into this Bud Crawford situation. Let's get into this Bud Crawford thing. Because Bud did a whole lot of talking this weekend. He did a whole lot of chiming. Hold on. What's up, champ?
What's up? What's up?
All right, man. What's your take
Hey,
on Jamel Charlo and Costano? Who you thought won the fight?
uh, I thought it was a draw. I thought it was a draw. To be honest with you, that was my first time watching Costano, and I think Costano fought a good fight. I thought he fought a good fight. I thought he was going to win the fight because he was dominating the fight. And then in that ninth or tenth round, when he got hurt again, he allowed Charlo to win those last four rounds, and that's how they got the draw. If he would have avoided from getting hurt and kept on dominating the fight through them championship rounds, he probably would have won the fight. But because he got hurt and then he kind of just lost that momentum, and Charlo took control of the fight at that time and won the rest of those rounds and was able to at least get it to a draw. But overall, I think Castano really had him. He had the fight. He had it. He had it. I love the way Costano made the adjustment in the second round after he got hurt. What he did was he only got hurt because he didn't bring his right hand in when he was throwing. Charlo counter with a counter hook, and his right hand was away. His right hand was away from his face. He didn't bring it. And he got clipped, and he made the adjustment because after that he kept the right hand up there and didn't get caught with the counter hook no more. But then what Charlo did was late in the round, Charlo realized that he could split the guard of the defense. He could split the guard straight down the middle with the right with the jab and the brick hand. And so once he caught, that's how he was able to catch him late in the fight, just throwing straight down the pipe. And at that time, once he got hurt at that part of the fight, it was just kind of he couldn't get himself together back and get control of the fight. And Charlo was able to squeeze it out and bring it back close again to get a draw. But I think it was a draw. I think they need to do it again.
All right, all right. What you think about the corner, the Dirk James? Because he's under a lot of criticism today. What do you think about Dirk James?
Well, what's the criticism?
Basically, they said they didn't think that he had Charlo prepared enough. Instructions wasn't good enough. I don't know why they saying that. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. That's hard to even kind of like. I don't know. I really I mean, what do you want? I mean, I don't know. That's kind of iffy thing right there with that the whole thing. I don't know. I don't know what he wanted. I mean, he can only do what he can. Charlo can only go in there and do what his skill sets what he has. And like to me personally, my personal opinion, I out of the two Charlos, I think he's the worst. I think he's the worst. He's not a thinker. He's not a thinker at all. He has minimum skill sets, and he I think he relies on his power too much. Like I think he looks for the power. If he can't get that power hit, if he can't hit you with that equalizer, then he done. And for the most part of that fight, after that second round, Castano was able to keep him from landing that big shot until the end.
All right, you know what? Y'all in the comment section. I mean, he interjected something different in here. We gonna do this right now? Who y'all think is the better Charlo, Jamel or Jamal? Who you gonna go with, Jamel or Jamal? And I'm gonna say this: in the beginning of their careers, I would agree with you. I was more of a Jamal fan than Jamel, but over these last few years, and mainly because Jamal has not had the proper dance partners to assess him other than Dervinchenko, I
But
gotta
that's
go
the
with
reason.
Jamel.
But that's the reason why you giving him that, because of the dance partners. I'm just looking at it far as just pure, just I just don't think that this one is that good. He just like he has a lot of holes in this game, a lot of holes in this game. So it's just, and then to be honest with you, like he allowed man, both fights, Harrison got at him in both fights. If it wasn't for the equalizer, him being able to hurt Harrison in that second fight, he loses that fight too. He loses that. He loses that. He just, that's what I'm saying. He relies on that equalizer. If he can't get that equalizer off and be able to hit you with that and hurt you, then other than that, he ain't really got nothing. He ain't really got nothing. In close, the in fight close game with Costano, he was losing. I was just mad that Costano didn't stay there. Like Costano would gain ground in close and then back out. Nah, stay there and fight him. He don't really got too much game in the inside.
Well, Costano's looking for the equalizer. You know what I mean? He don't want to stay there and get
But
caught by the equalizer either.
but I don't think Costano was hurting him though. I don't really think Costano was hurting him for real. I don't really think. I just think he was just beating Charlo to the punch because he was throwing a little bit more. He was more active. He was a more crisp with his combinations when he was throwing it. And but I don't think he could really really hurt Charlo.
Okay. Okay. Now it was a couple of times he stood Charlo up. It was a
He
couple of times he stood
did, but not enough to, not enough for Charlo to to respect him. You see what I'm saying? Like when Charlo hit him, he had to respect Charlo's power.
Okay. Now, on the Mel Mall situation, some is a many of us that Jamel won that first Harrison fight too.
You said again?
It's many of us that thought that Jamel won the first Harrison fight too. And I'm one of them. I don't think Harrison did enough to win that first fight.
You don't? I mean, it was. Let me say, it was a close fight. It was a close fight to me. I could see why you say that, but I do think the second one, Harrison got in that ass on that second one. Harrison was on him. Harrison boxed beautifully. I didn't even know Harrison had that type of. I didn't even know he had that type of skill set with him, and he fought beautifully. If it wasn't for him getting hurt, man, I think Harrison wins.
That's true. He definitely would have won the fight if it wasn't for that big punch in the later rounds. That's definitely clear. That's definitely clear. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely clear that he would have won that fight. I'm just saying this, man. I think if he listened to Dirk James, right, and push him back the way he's supposed to, and use that right hand that was splitting the guards, I think if he'd have picked that up and kept that going, he gets Castano out there, and we're not even holding this conversation right now.
But why didn't he? Because it was there.
Like Sugar Ray Leonard said to me years and years ago, man, sometimes the heart won't let you do what the mind wants you to do. You know what I mean? Because listen, sometimes it come down. Sometimes all you got to throw all the intangibles out the window, all the athletic ability out the window. You got to rise to the occasion at that moment. Was
Yeah.
the lights too bright? Was the lights too
I,
bright?
I wouldn't say that. That's why I just say, man, it's just a certain set of skill sets that he have. And I mean, he fights the same way in every fight. He doesn't look, he doesn't look like he's evolved as a fighter over the period of years. I'm seeing the same fighter. I'm seeing the same fighter. He hasn't got better and better and better. Like he has the same skill sets, and I just he throws he hits and he relies on his power. He throws the occasional. He throws the one jab, throws the right hand. He'll throw the counter hook. Other than that, like he really, what else does he have?
I mean, he definitely got punching power. I mean, he's not
Yeah,
he's not. Listen, in terms of what you say, the technical soundness of his skill, I think what he's missing is a few different punch selections. I think if he get a few of those wrinkles in, he's better. He'll be okay.
And he don't got no defense.
What,
He kept his hands down the whole time. He wasn't protecting his face at all. Like he don't have no defense. He don't have no defense. All he need to do is go against somebody that can crank just like him. That's all he need to do. Go against somebody that can crank them just like he can, and then there's gonna be a problem because he don't have no D. His
what
hands
he
is down. His
what
hands is down the whole fight, and he telegraphs every punch from the jab, from the brick hand. He telegraphs it.
well, we at the end of the road. We're at the end of the road at 154. This is for undisputed. So he's cleared this division. He's cleared the division. We're at the end of the road. We're at the end of the road. This is it.
I mean, you right, you right, you right, you right. So
But check this
that's why
out.
I say that they need to do it again.
Definitely, definitely. Let's go
They
to this
got,
next topic. Let's go to this next topic. What you think about all the talking of Bud Crawford was doing, basically saying, Charlo ain't a lead, this, that, and the third. Sean scared of him, everybody scared of him. It was a lot of chirping going on from that side of the street. Basically talking about he might go up to 154 and try Jamel, all of that kind of stuff. It was a lot
I
going on.
mean, if he's trying to get a fight, then I can see why he would say that. He might be trying to get a fight, but other than that, I mean, I don't know. I don't really. I don't know. Unless he's trying to get a fight, that's the only reason why I feel like that could be relevant. That could do some justice. But other than that, I mean, what he said, uh, he not elite. I don't think he's elite.
Jamel is not
I
elite.
don't.
Jamel is
Heck
not elite.
no,
Listen.
no.
You know what? I'm gonna do this right now. See, I'm gonna do this right now. Listen, I get it. I know y'all that been in the ring, know the ins and outs and different things, but that's not what we judge elite fighters off. I know skills pay the bills, but sometimes you gotta look at the people's track record. Look at the man track record, who he beat, who he fought. You gotta give him his roses. He earned his ticket to the dance.
Yeah, he earned the ticket to the dance, but that goes back to what me and you talk about off air. He earned the ticket in an era that don't have other good fighters in it. Like it ain't like it ain't like he really getting challenged by somebody with some real elite skills. Like it's just, man, this era of boxing is a cupcake version era of boxing. So like
That's
ain't a
all
lot of
sports.
these dudes.
That's all sports. That's all sports.
True. So, but that's what I'm saying. So we really, I mean, unfortunately, I, I mean, we've all been around where we've seen skillful fighters, and I mean, I'm just not gonna give. I mean, he's he's I. He's a top fighter in his division for this era, but he don't have elite skill sets for me to be like, oh man, yeah, he elite. Nah, he not elite, but is he the champion of this earth? Then yeah, I mean he's what we have. So you got to we go with that because he's what's out here, but he's not. He don't have elite skills.
Well, listen. Unfortunately for those that I understand where you're coming from, but unfortunately for you, Sugar Ray Leonard and or Hagler, none of them gonna get in the ring with him no time soon.
Nah, I know that, but that's what I'm saying. I mean he legit. He legit for. I mean you got to give. I mean some type of credit. He got what, 3 belts. I mean he been holding down his division. So yeah, I'm giving him credit for that. But I mean I wouldn't put him on no elite pound for pound list.
I check it. I'm gonna switch this thing up. I know another hot topic that everybody want to talk about. Rolly Romero. Rolly. What you think about Rolly's performance? And if you this hard on Charlo, I'm dying to see what you say about Rolly. Y'all in the comment section that saw the fights over the weekend, tell me what y'all think about Rolly's performance. Was it good? Was it bad? What you think of Rolly? Is he worth all the hype? You tell me. Come on, I'm listening. Oh, come back here. He'll be back in a second. Tell me what y'all think of Rolly, man. What y'all think of Rolly? Did y'all think was y'all impressed with Rolly? You know what I mean? Because he's getting shredded on social media. Even Devin Haney called it and said, typed tweeted that he thought Rolly was trash and all of that right there. Not worth the hype. but we'll say he's better than his previous fight. I'm gonna be honest. Here's my thing. Here's my thing with Rolly. My thing with Rolly is it was a fight that happened, and I think right as in the middle of the pandemic when they was fighting with no audience, and he got out there and fought. And I'm so sorry, but I forgot the guy he fought that night. But the fight I watched that night, Rolly lost. Clear loss. Wasn't even. I don't know. I don't know what the judge saw that night. Now that was a robbery. That fight, that first fight he fought in the pandemic, that was a robbery. You know what I'm saying? To me, I don't see. I mean, to be honest with you, to me, I don't. The only thing I see that's great about Rolly is he connected before. I mean, and then I think that's what has got him hype. Oh, and he beat up Ryan Garcia in sparring years ago. Other than that, I don't see nothing. I don't see the hype about Rolly, and I don't want to talk bad about no fighters, but I mean, for all of the noise I heard, watch out for Rolly. He'll do this, he'll do that, he'll do this, and he's calling out everybody from Tank to T.O. We're gonna get back to the Tank thing in a minute, but he's called out T.O., he's called out Devin, he's called out Ryan, and like I say, he beat up Ryan in sparring years ago, so I'm gonna give him that credit. But I don't see one thing. I'll give him to him. He does come to fight. He will do that. He come to fight. He sells out. He goes for the knockout. I'm gonna give you that. So he's not a born fighter. I'm gonna give you that. He's not a born fighter. He come to boogie. He come to rumble. But in terms of the actual skills and the actual things that's going on, I don't know. I don't know. I believe T.O. will give him a good show. Well, T.O., we're gonna get to T.O. in a minute. But to me, like I said, and I definitely think Tank stops him. What y'all think? Rolly Ramirez, Rolly versus Tank. Who y'all got? I got Tank. I got Tank hurting him, and early. You know what I mean? I think about 4th, 5th round, if that, Tank would get him out of there. You know what I mean? He's too wide. And I don't think he's strong enough, for Tank. And I don't see him. I mean, and I hope he would come in there with the wild looping punches against Tank, because Tank will get out of the way of those and clearly catch him with something that I don't think he even can see or handle. You know what I mean? But what y'all think about Tank versus Rolly? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. While we await my man, aka before his time coming back, man. You know what I mean? AK before his time was the co-host of Team Lonely Child for the longest, man. But we're gonna get him back in the fold soon. You know what I mean? But what y'all think about Rolly versus Tank, man? I'm going with Tank on the easy one. But let's get back to this Bud Crawford thing. You know what I mean? This Bud Crawford thing is scintillating. To me, here's the thing. Enough of the nonsense, man. Enough of the nonsense. Listen, in this situation right now, it's clear his promotional company did not come through for him the way he needed it to be. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. Bring some good commentators on the show, aka. Okay. We'll do that. We'll do that in due time. Listen, when it comes to that right there, listen, trust me. We're constantly working on trying to work, with other people's schedules. We got a lineup of different people coming with the interviews and things like that. We just got to work with people's schedules. You know what I mean? Like I have spoken personally to like Gary Russell Jr., Gary Russell, Antonio Russell, and a few of them, and we just trying to iron out the time and the schedule between them. Gary did, so he definitely said he want to come back on here to do a part 2 of what we did not too long ago. And the other brothers, of course, I'm dying to get Gary Antoine on here. So yeah, we working on that. You know what I mean? We got a couple other people we working on, like Raquel Miller. We got different people in the fold, to come through. We just working on the schedules, y'all. Just be patient with me, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try to get y'all the hot interviews as we give you the great content, and also want to keep you up abreast with what's going on. So definitely stay with me, man. Stay with me. We're gonna bring folks through, man. It's a lot. It's a lot. You know what I mean? The behind the scenes is a lot. You know what I mean? So, but back to Bud. Like I said, to me, I think they just need to cut the nonsense. To me, talk your talk. Talk your talk. He's a great fighter. Three division world champion, ranked pound for pound, one of the 1, 2, 3 fighters in the world. I have no problem with the guy. You know what I mean? I have no problem with the guy. Oh, I was talking about us in the chat like Dante said. Okay. All right. My bad. Hey man, I'm just addressing whatever y'all want me to address. But back to what I was saying. What y'all think about Bud in this situation? I'm being honest with you. Please, all I want him to do is fight this one last fight in October, and then the day after that, when he makes the decision of whatever he wants to do, please, I don't care if he fights the janitor right now. They did say the fight with the Cepeda is not going to happen. He's not fighting the 140-pound guy that lost to Hank Lundy. They said that fight is not happening. So right now, we still unsure who he's fighting his last fight. But all I'm saying is get this last fight out the way. Get this last fight out the way. I don't care if you fight the gym teacher down the street. Just get this fight over with. And after that, either go independent, which I think would be best. Do the same thing that Devin, Haney, and Canelo was doing. Just go independent and have whoever you want broken your fights. That way you're not tied down to no network, and you can fight whoever you want to fight, however you want to fight. And I think that'd be best. I don't even want to tell you which if you do which you just can't resign with Top Rank. You can't resign with Top Rank. You just can't do that. You know what I mean? Because if he resigns with Top Rank, I don't want to hear nothing about Terrence Crawford and the PBC boys ever again. I don't want to hear it. It's clear that that's a sticking point right there. And we can go back and forth till the cows come home. For everybody want to say, oh, it's just because the PBC guys are just so scared. Everybody over there is scared. Sean Porter has fought everybody. Sean Porter has fought everybody except for Manning and Terrence Crawford. Sean Porter spars with light heavyweights. He's for the Earl fight. He sparred with David Benavidez. I mean, straight up slugging. Sean Porter is not scared of nobody. So to put that out there, oh, they're just so scared. These guys have fought. Everybody else has fought everybody on the other side. Everybody else on the other side, they've all fought everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's clear there's an issue. I thought when y'all saw how everything fell apart with the Pacquiao fight, y'all will see that is a real problem with his promotional company. Because Pac clearly, listen, Bob Arum came out and announced to the whole wide world and gave us a date at that. They said that on June 5th in Saudi Arabia, that Bud Crawford was going to fight Manny Pacquiao. We all saw it. He put it out there. They named a date. They named the venue. They named all that. And the fight didn't happen because they said Manny wanted too much money. What you want us to do? How Manny Pacquiao asked for too much money? Come on, man. You're talking about one of the faces of the sport. You're talking about when that man come in the ring and they're announcing an 8-division world champion, former this, former that, former flyweight champion, all the fanfare and all the bells and whistles that would have came with that fight. Don't tell me that he asked for too much money. That don't make sense. Bob Arum did not want to invest into Terrence Crawford the way he needed to be invested in it. That's not the PBC guys' fault. Listen, these fighters fight for a living. They fight for a living. At the end of the day, yeah, they fighters, and you want people to go out there and fight the best, but at some point in time, it is a business. It is a business. And sometimes the business is to do the obvious. You know what I mean? I'm not taking no pay cut to fight somebody they say is the pound for pound best fighter in the sport. That doesn't make sense. Nah, I stay over here and fight. I stay over here and fight Earl. I stay over here and fight Danny. I stay over here and fight Sean. I might get a fight with Manny. I stay over here and fight Boots. I stay over here and fight. Why I go over there? Listen, it's a full buffet over here. It's a full buffet over here. So if you want us to, either you come over here and play, or you send us something here, a sizable. They said Sean Porter asked for more than $2 million was pricing himself out. Asking for more than $2 million. A 2-time world champion going against a 3-division champion, currently pound for pound 1, 2, or 3 in the sport, asking for more than $2 million was pricing itself out. Let that marinate. Come on, man. Listen, I don't know what's going on in the back room. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I don't know what kind of conversation him and Bob had. But Bob didn't Bob didn't believe in him the way he thinks he should believe in him, or Bob just not trying to invest in him the way he needed to. It's clearly that's what's going on. But all of the shenanigans of blaming the boys on the other side of the street just because the dads ain't having is crazy. You know what I mean? These boys have been in tough fights. These boys have been in rugged fights. It's not that much about this guy, even though I love him. I love Terrence Crawford, but it ain't that much being scared in the world. You know what I mean? What y'all think about that, man? Put your comments in the comments section, man. Put the comments in the comment section. What you think was going on? I'll tell you something else that's going on. Listen, think about this. Don't never underestimate the power of the male ego. Don't never underestimate the power of the male ego. Some of these promoters' egos and their pride is huge. And so if it may be something going on between the promoters that he just don't want to, I'm just not going to do business with you just because I don't like the way you act. And before y'all say, oh, that's crazy, think about this. Jerry Krause had just won 3 championships in a row, 6 out of the last 8. And he still let Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson walk out the door because of his ego and pride. Jerry Jones had just won back-to-back Super Bowls and still let Jimmy Johnson put him out because of the male ego. Don't ever underestimate the power of an ego and pride. Don't ever underestimate that. That comes into play with these promoters. That's why I think a lot of more fighters need to go independent. Don't ever underestimate the power of them egos, man. Because we've seen some of the most bizarre things happen in the world of sports, where the top of where folks was at the pinnacle, where people with organizations fight and kill. Hold on. Crawford not scared of nobody. He just waiting to leave nobody. Now Troy, my man, Possum Paynes. You know good and well I ain't say Bud scared of nobody. You know that. You know I didn't say Bud was scared of nobody. I'm just saying for them to say all of them fighters over there scared of him is too much. I'm tired of hearing it. It's corny now. It's clear nobody, listen, it's clear there's a business issue going on. You had Manny Pacquiao locked and loaded. He sent his word to them that he was willing to fight Bud Crawford and gave him a price. And Bob said everything was done. Everything is done. We fighting in Saudi Arabia on June 5th. Yo, we seen it. He fighting in June 5th. You know what I mean? Then next thing you know, none of us knew that it was even a negotiation going on between Earl and Manny. We didn't know till that thing got tweeted out and all of the announcements started rolling. He had a couple folks probably like, is this real? Is he really fighting Earl? We didn't even know. And while y'all at it, let's ask this question. Pick us. I'm not saying pick a side. Who you got winning? Earl or Bud? You know what I mean? Or are y'all picking Manny? Or are y'all picking Manny to pull off the upset? Like who's going with this? You know what I mean? Because that's next. You know what I mean? Wow, putting everything in the Josh Taylor man, top rank losing their roster, especially after the Tyson Fury crap. Listen, I'm dying to see what. Oh yeah, speaking of that, so y'all know Tyson Fury, the fight is back on. The fight is now scheduled for October 9th. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury will be getting it on October 9th. I'm gonna be honest with you. We all know. Listen, the whole COVID thing was a stretch. We get it. I believe he didn't have it either. I don't think nobody in this camp had it either. But it's clear that, listen, Tyson Fury has got back into the point where he's distracted again. He's bored. He's out there wilding. He parlaying. People seeing him at the casino. People seeing him at the bar. So, I mean, he wilding. So what I'm saying? He wilding. So, I mean, let's just hope the fight happens in October. So look like Top Rank gonna have a hot October. Let's just hope the fight happens in October. So look like Tyson Fury and Bud Crawford is fighting in October. Let's just hope that Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder happens in October. You know what I mean? Let's just hope it happens. Hope he makes it to it, and hope he doesn't fall back. That's what's wrong with sports and boxing. Selective media. What he just did with COVID is crazy. Yeah. I mean, listen. All right, check this out. You don't want to give the other camp a competitive advantage by saying, hey, man, my fighter just ain't ready. You know what I mean? Hey, man, my fighter lunching, my fighter out there. They're not going to do that in the media, especially in boxing. When you talking people, especially when you messing with millions and millions and millions of dollars, you know, this fight is generating, you know, almost $1 billion in revenue. And, you know, we handing out some hefty checks. So yeah, I need my man. I need everything to be lined up. I can't be having my fight out here. Let everybody know my fighter was at the casino last week and he drunk and he ain't spawned right and all that. You know what I mean? Or somebody bust my man up and spawn and I gotta take him out back to get serious. Nah, they're not gonna put that out there. They go, oh yeah, man, he got COVID. Yeah, he got COVID. That's what it is. We're gonna take a couple weeks off and move the fight down the road a couple months to see what happened. You know what I mean? But like I said, you could tell way before that Tyson Fury was not focused. You know what I mean? That night when he showed up at the Shakur fight drunk, you knew something wasn't right. You know what I mean? We knew something wasn't right then. But like I said, let's just hope the fight happened in October. Let's just hope the fight happened in October. You know what I mean? I'm dying to see who Bud gonna fight this last fight. You know what I mean? This fight in October. You know what I mean? Who are you fighting? You know what I mean? Since it's not Cepeda, and it looks like Josh Taylor has a dance partner. Regis look like he got a dance partner. Who are you fighting? Who are you fighting? You know what I mean? Fight Adrian Broner. Fight Adrian Broner. You know what I mean? That ain't gonna happen. But you know, fight somebody, man. Just look. I don't care who you fight. You can fight the janitor at the high school up street. Fight somebody, and then let us know what you're gonna do with your promotional situation after that. I don't care if he fight. You know what I mean? He can fight the dude fried chicken down the street. I don't care who he fight. The dude wiping his car down. Fight him. You know what I mean? I don't care. Just fight somebody, get past this contract, you know that, and then we'll see the real. We'll see the real. Earl said Saturday night the only fight he want after Manny is Bud. He said it on live TV. So and that's what I don't get. Even the Crawford fans was complaining about that. Oh man, why he mentioning Bud's name? He ain't got no choice but mention his name, man. I mean, you know, everybody knows after the Manny fight, that's the first question they're gonna ask is Bud next. Who you want next? You know that's the next question. He's go ahead and Spencer May stop back after seeing his boy almost lose the other night. Well, see, that's the difference between Earl and Jamel. Bud don't get it. When they look back, guys like Sean Porter will be the measuring stick. He validates a lot of fighters because he is tougher and better than people give him credit for. He gave EJ proven father, and that fight was very close. Facts. I mean, listen, Sean don't got a dancing partner right now. So that fight can easily still be on the table, but it's not going to happen. Now, Sean is looking at Jamal James, and it's a possibility through all of that Ugas and Keith Thurman might be dancing. You know what I mean? So I don't have a problem with either one of those fights. Like I said, man, I just didn't like over the weekend when all the talk was going on from Bud's team and all that. I didn't like all the Sean Porter slander myself because, like I said, Sean Porter has fought everybody. Sean Porter has fought them all. Anybody you want to name, Sean Porter has fought them. You know what I'm saying? Sean Porter has fought them. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like I said, he fought Kelbrook, fought Adrian Broner, fought Terrence Crawford. I mean, not Terrence Crawford, fought Earl Spence. The sound just went out of my mic. I can't. Fought man, who was I saying? Fought Keith Thurman, fought Danny Garcia, fought Devin Alexander, even fought Paulie Baldinazzi. You name it, he fought him. You name it, Sean Porter fought them all. So to sit back and say, oh, well, Sean is so scared of Bud. Why? Even if he loses, it don't diminish him. You know what I'm saying? Even if he loses the Bud, it don't diminish him. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even if he loses, it don't diminish him. You know what I'm saying? It don't diminish him, man. Sean Porter don't got to prove nothing to nobody, man. So, you know, I get what he's saying. Like, you know, because they criticize him for not willing to fight Boots or Ortiz right now. I get what he's saying, man. I've been around the track. I ain't trying to be no young boy come up. I'm trying to get one of these bigger fights right there, and then maybe I'll let the young boy come up. I ain't mad at him for that. He's earned the right to say that. You know what I mean? Your track record dictates who you get to fight sometimes. Yeah, hey, your track record gets to do that. When you've been in the ring with everybody and all comers, when basically out of everybody at 147, Sean got the best resume. You know what I'm saying? Sean got the best resume. He's the only one that's fucked them all. You know what I mean? You know? So yeah, let that marinate. Also, let's get into this Canelo Caleb Plant thing. I'm gonna leave that PBC topic for another show. But let's get into this Caleb Plant thing. You know, it's a lot of people that came out that's bashing PBC and bashing Caleb Plant. They say Caleb Plant pricing himself out. First of all, that's not even how the negotiations are going. It's not even how the negotiations are being planned out. I need y'all to read between the lines and stop running with everything that Eddie Hearn is saying. Eddie Hearn is not Canelo Alvarez's promoter. He's only negotiating for Canelo Alvarez on behalf of him. He's not his promoter. You know what I mean? He's not his promoter. Canelo Alvarez doesn't have a promoter. He signed a 2-fight deal with the Zone. Yilderman and Billy Joe Saunders. He is not part of the Zone. Now, Canelo is the A side. He's the face of boxing. If Canelo said, hey, I want to fight Caleb Plant in Osaka or wherever you want to fight at, this is the term, this is that. It's for Caleb Plant to take it or leave it. It wouldn't even be a discussion of a purse bid or possibly fighting a 1-fight deal or 2-fight deal with PBC. No, what they're not telling you is Canelo came out weeks ago before the Billy Joe Saunders fight and said he doesn't have a problem with PBC. Said the only reason he didn't sign with PBC when everybody else left was he was being loyal to Oscar. That's the only reason why he didn't go to PBC. He doesn't have a problem with Al or nobody at PBC. Stop putting that out there. Because we all, I put the video in the Boxing the DC group when it happened. The day after, the second day that interview dropped, I dropped that thing out there so I can pull it up and I'll play it for y'all this evening, or we'll talk about it in the Boxing the DC group later on this evening. See, this is the issue. Canelo is basically saying to everybody, listen, whoever presents me the best package for the fight, I'm doing. It's not Caleb Plant holding up the fight. It's Canelo trying to figure out what deal suits him better. See what I'm saying? Because if he fights on the Zone, he's going to get a guaranteed 30. He knows that. So now the question is Al going to give him 30 million plus pay-per-view? That's what they're discussing. Not Caleb Plant holding up because he asked for $10 million. This, that, and the third. It's a fight for undisputed championship, and a fight in the face of boxing, and it could be on pay-per-view. Why should he get less than $10 million? Y'all sound crazy. Why should he get less than $10 million? But I think he's going to get a lot more than $10 million. So I don't think that's not the issue. The issue is just putting together the package, going through the iron details. See, first of all, again, what the other guy trying to do, Eddie Hearn is trying to get in front of the media. He don't want y'all to know that Canelo is actually contemplating signing a deal with PBC. He don't want y'all to think that. He don't want y'all to think that we couldn't pull in. We got the face of boxing. We did 2 fights with him. I'm working alongside with him, but yet he's considering to sign with somebody. He don't want y'all to know that. Why would he want y'all to know that? And don't tell me it don't make sense. Don't tell me it don't make sense because, like I said, you got the face of boxing already with you. He's the face of boxing. You're brokering the deal for you. It would be just as simple as this is our terms. You take it or leave it. If that was the case. If Canelo wasn't contemplating a deal with PBC. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Write a book. You know what I mean? Last but not least. Oh, no, we got plenty more. Teofimo said he wants to fight Loma now. He wants to bypass this fight with George Karabakis. He wants to go straight to Lomachenko. You know what I mean? Which I don't got a problem with. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Teofimo and Loma get it on right now. Listen, Troy, all y'all that's in the comment section, man. Look, tell me who you thought won the Charlo fight. What you think of Bud comments? Who you think will win between Loma and whatever? Let it all hang out, y'all. Don't mind me. Put whatever's on your box and minds in the chat section right now. We can indulge in it all. I bust down the T.O. Loma thing, like I said, listen, I'm tired of all the people talking about Teofimo only won because Loma was hurt, or Teofimo won because Loma was taking it easy on him. No, it was some hot sauce on that jab. It was some hot sauce on that jab that had Loma second guessing what he got to do. Man, listen, man, these people been fighting their whole life. These people been fighting their whole life. You know what I mean? Some of them 10, 15 years. Just because you didn't know about them before they got popular don't mean they wasn't fighting, man. These people been fighting their whole life. You know when something is across from you that you're not used to dealing with or don't want to deal with. It's facts. You know what I mean? And that's how that go. You know what I mean? That's how that go, man. So like I said, man, tell me what y'all think, man. I'm going with T.O. again. I think he'll probably win by decision, but if Loma get froggy, I think he stops Loma this time. I think he really beats Loma up this time. You know what I mean? I think he's really going to put a lot of pressure on Loma. I think he's going to go out there to make a statement to let everybody know that he's the real deal, and he wants to be recognized as one of the best in the game. And I think he's gonna go out there and put it in the Loma. I appreciate Loma coming back out there to go after that young boy. Now I'm gonna give him his respect right there, because he very easy could go out there and start washing up, lesser fighters to get his name back up and then get another big fight with somebody not necessarily Teofimo and still, do his thing. But he really want to prove that, get back in there to get what he think he lost that night back right. And that's what boxing all about. Yeah, he gonna put it all on the line. So I'm gonna give him respect, whether he get mopped, dropped, knocked out, or whatever. I'm gonna give him his roses. We can no longer, speak about him in the ill matter. You got to get in that I ever did, but I'm just saying, for those that do, you gonna have to get him his roses. That's tough. I think Loma, he puts the foot on gas from the beginning, time even high sauce from the jab. I could live with the draw or Costano with the split decision. But I listen. All right. First, let me do it. Okay. All right, listen. When you look at I'm gonna get to you, and Anthony. I'm gonna get to you. When you look at the fight with Loma and T.O., it was something about Teofimo that made him comfortable. I think when he got in the ring, the hand and foot speed was a little bit more than he anticipated. I think that T.O.'s athleticism was a lot more than he anticipated. So he was being very cautious, because, see, just like the other night when you saw Charlo being a little bit cautious, when you're in the ring with them herky-jerky fighters and they good at throwing hooks and things like that in exchanges, you be a little bit more careful, because, like, in them hooks and exchanges, Teofimo has freakish power. So and Lomachenko knew that. So he was being a little bit more cautious, because he knows if he walks into one of them, it could be a good night. Now, to you, yes, we all know that 117, 111 was a tragedy. That was an absolute tragedy, and I don't believe that judge will be getting any more fights, because the whole world wants his head. You know what I mean? But to me, I think the fight was called right to take all belts. It needs to be decided. I agree. We agree on that. Like I said, looking at the fight, I'm not gonna lie. Coming down the stretch, I was like, man, Charlo better do something. In order to even make this fight even salvageable for a draw. Now, I didn't see no scenario. To me, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't see no scenario where Charlo won the fight. I'm gonna put that out there. I didn't see no scenario where he won the fight, but I didn't think Costano did enough to warrant snatching all 4 belts, and I didn't think Charlo did enough to say, "Hey, I clearly won this." So no, I understand that decision. I want to see T.O. in a warm up before Loma. Loma looked good last fight. We haven't seen T.O. since. Nah, T.O. don't need no warm up, man. T.O. don't need no warm up. T.O. good. Loma needed to get his burns back. You know what I mean? And hold on. No disrespect to Loma, but Nataki had been active for the longest. So I'm not saying that's why Loma won, but I think that's what made the fight a lot easier for Loma, is that Nataki hadn't been in the ring in a while. You know what I mean? And that was a smart move for them to sell this rematch between Teofimo and Loma. But now I'm going with Teofimo all over again. I'm going with Teofimo. I'm going with T.O. I didn't see. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what I saw. The first fight, I saw T.O. controlling the range, controlling the ring, controlling the fight. I seen him doing everything he needed to do, and when it was time to bang, he was able to hurt Loma in that 12th round. And I think he remembers that. And I think deep down Loma remembers that, he got hurt in that 12th round. So let's be clear. I'm going with Teofimo. Like I said, I think you'll see a little bit more of an aggressive. You'll see a little bit more aggression from Loma, but that works for Teofimo. Trust me when I tell you that the more he throws, the more he's open for them counters from Teofimo. So he good. He good. He good to me. Charlo didn't want to get Haney. Listen, I'm gonna quote my man one more time, man. Like I said, Sugar Ray said a long time ago, man. Sometimes, man, listen, you got to throw everything out the window and just go for yours. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Are you willing to sell out and get that thing done? And that right there, that moment in the second round, that moment in the 10th round, and how he fought in that 12th round will forever haunt Jermell Charlo. Will forever haunt him. See what I'm saying? Them 3 moments right there, that second round, that 10th round, and that last round will forever haunt him. Because those was when you supposed to got that man out of there. It was there. It was there for you. It was there for you. You know what I mean? It was there for you. It was still there for you in the 11th. But once Costano survived that 11th round, I said, oh, nah, this don't go on 12. We're going on 12. Yeah, we're going 12. Nah, he wasn't supposed to make it out the 10th or the 11th. And that's listen, both fighters left meat on the bone. Both fighters left meat on the bone. Both fighters really got to, when they get back to their locker room, I know they both was upset because they both wanted to be undisputed. When you get back to that locker room, you got to look up and say, hey, man, I left meat on the bone. I left meat on the bone. You know what I mean? So I think the second fight, they leave, and the draw is perfect. That way nobody's overconfident, that nobody's dealing with no type of depression. They both come in there thinking they can beat the other. It would be a great fight. He felt that man power and started hesitating. Which one? Charlo or Costano? Because Costano is known for throwing. Perfect example. You have a plan till you get hit. Charlo was stunned a few times in that fight, and that will make you think I'm trying to close a wounded animal. I don't know about her. I think he got buzzed. I think he got buzzed. He got stood up a couple times. I mean, they definitely got his attention. No question. They definitely got his attention, but I don't know if he was hurt. Now, Costano was hurt. He was visibly wobbling, visibly staggered. I didn't see that from Jamal. I seen him stand up and get a couple head scratches, a couple head shakers. I seen that. I definitely saw that. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna hold you. He definitely got stood up a few times. He had a couple of attention getters. You know what I mean? And he may have played off of being a hurt. Like one time, I think one time he did almost sit down on the ropes. Yes, Charlo was stunned. But I said, hey, bro, you got a valid argument. I wasn't saying you was wrong. You got a valid argument. But I'm just saying in terms of how Costano was staggering all over the ring, visibly running to try to get away for a few seconds. That's what I mean. It was a totally different degree of damage and hurt that was done between the two of them. But nah, he wasn't wrong because he definitely hit it. It was definitely a joint where Charlo's whole face went another direction and he sat or looked like he almost sat down on the ropes. So yeah, you're right. So like I say, I think the rematch would be that much epic. I know the rematch ain't going to the cards. That's what you get out of a draw. You get a war for a rematch, and you get a war for a rematch, and we gonna get you're gonna get a stoppage in the rematch. They not going to 12. Let me check my cue cards, make sure I touched everything. You know what I mean? We're gonna stay here though. We're gonna stay here. But I just want to make sure I touched on everything. Oh, JoJo and Devin Haney. JoJo Diaz and Devin Haney. We was talking about that just last week. Charlo gets a little wild when he gets hurt. When he gets his man hurt. Yeah, I know. Woo. Well, here's the thing. First, let me talk about this. Yeah, Charlo. See, here's the thing. And just like when people look at Charlo, right? You got a lot of people saying that they think that that Earl is in trouble. The Earl is in trouble because of what they see from Charlo, because they got the same trainer. But see, the difference is it's a science to knowing how to walk a man down. And Charlo got to learn that. You know what I mean? Same thing like with people like Deontay Wilder. They got to learn how to walk a man down. You got to learn how to walk your man down. See, it's a science to that. It takes footwork, it takes real defense, and it takes, it's just a different level that you got to go to, because you got to go through a storm to get to your man, but you got to know how to walk your man down. And that's what he did wrong. That's why he get wild, because he knows his man hurt. He just trying to land another big shot, because he knows if he land another big one, he can lay him down. But sometimes you got to walk that man down and position him in a position to take that shot. And that's what he don't got. And he got to learn that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between him and Earl Spence, because Earl Spence does know how to walk a man down. He knows how to get behind the mitts and come get you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference. That's the difference between a lot of fighters. A lot of fighters can't cut the ring off. See, you got to know how to cut the ring off. See, cutting the ring off ain't just running up on a man and trying to pin him. No, it's a way you move. It's a way you move to box it. Put it like this. Brian Costano cut the ring off on Charlo. See, even though Charlo was the one moving, Costano still was able to get him back on them ropes just by the way he was moving. He was able to get Charlo back on the rope. Charlo needed to do the same thing to him, but he didn't know how. See what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say I ain't gonna say he don't know how, because it sounds like it don't. It sounds like Dirk James showed him to him, and basically was like saying, "This is the time you got to do it. This is the time you got to do it." You know what I mean? Because Dirk James was telling him everything he needed to do. Dirk James told him everything he needed to do. And I just didn't, to this minute, like I said, the moments in those fights, that whole entire fight is going to haunt Charlo. You know what I mean? But those moments where he had him hurt and didn't get it done, that was the topic earlier too. What I think of his defense. It's good enough. It's good enough. It's good enough. You're not going to see, it's like this. It's good enough. The only time you're ever going to see him completely exposed for the lack of defense is when he's either in the ring with somebody that hits harder than him, just as hard as him, or he's in the ring with a pure boxer. But until he gets in the ring with one of them, as long as he's fighting guys that's just good, they're just good fighters. And I'm not saying Costano not a good fighter. I'm just talking about they in terms of they tough fighters, they rugged fighters, but in terms of complete skill, they not the total package in that manner. But they tough fighters, then they come to boogie, and they still deserve their roses. But until he gets in the ring with a pure boxer that can completely exploit that, he's gonna be all right with the defense. The walk down is what was frustrating Dirk, because he knows ESJ knows how to imagine how frustrating. I could see him like man, he don't listen, and EJ was ringside. Yeah. I mean, that's why when they kept interviewing Earl Spence after the fight, and they kept asking him like the same question, he kept saying, "Look, man, coach right there. Talk to coach. Talk to coach. I ain't gonna go on my stable mate, and I ain't gonna undermine the coach. Just talk to coach." Earl didn't want to answer them questions, man. So, yeah. Listen. Two of the biggest mysteries of this fight is Why do you keep going on them ropes? And why are you not listening to Dirk James? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But sometimes, man, listen. Sometimes when you get on them bright lights, when them lights get as bright as they can be, see that night right there, all eyes is on you. See, sometimes when you fight them other fights, you know, it might be MMA, it might be an MMA fight going on, it might be, you know, something else going on, it might be this, that, the third. But that night, when you got in the ring, all eyes was on y'all. Sometimes the lights get too bright. So I'm saying that's where the heart come from. Not saying the heart. When I say heart, I don't mean just the heart to fight. Sometimes it takes heart to overcome the bright lights. You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes heart just to go out there and do, because the shots was there. Everything he needed was in front of him. He didn't do it. You know, Dirk James told him the exact truth. You know what I mean? Dirk James told him the exact truth. He said, listen, man, this fight right here, it's yours to win or lose. And back home, people underestimate that pressure. Right. That's why I keep listen. That's why I keep saying, listen, from here on out, none of y'all boys don't fight at home no more. Don't fight in Texas no more. Do not fight in Texas. Jamal Charlo, do not fight in Houston no more. That go for you and your brother. Don't fight in the state of Texas no more. You know what I mean? Don't fight there no more. You heard? Don't fight in DC no more. Don't fight in Maryland, DC no more. We want to see you, but don't come in no more. I don't know what it is about these home fights that these guys, I don't know. Maybe, see, you know what it is? See, you can go home, sleep in your own bed. It ain't, see, you know what I mean? You can go home, sleep in your own bed, eat your own, hang out with your boys. You know, maybe it's less discipline when you're home. Maybe that it. Maybe you're just not as hungry when you're home because you can just go up the street and like when you go way in the woods, go in the mountains, and you in camp. Oh, what we got here? Costano had that sneaky right hand that Charlo really didn't have the hands before. Wasn't a long punch, but a short right hand when they were in the mix. Yeah, and he was busier. You know, which we expected. We expected him to be busier. We expected that, you know, because like I said, he's known for throwing 80 to 100 punches around. So, you know, you got to see when you're a puncher, right? And you fight those busy guys, see, you got to make up your mind. Are you going to seek and destroy, or you going to sit back and wait for him to give you an opening and land that one shot? That's the business decision you got to make. But then when you under a fight of this magnitude, at some point, you got to say, hey, man, I'm going to go get it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing, and another thing, and on the Costano side, hey, bro, you was winning the fight and you up. I get it. So unless in those last few rounds you're saying I'm just going to do enough to try to make it to the cards and hope that I can win it, but at some point you got to be willing to go out on your shield. That's why I love what Too Sharp did. He got up about the city state fight knockout. And the same thing with when Winky Wright, he went down Florida. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, it happens. Like I said, sometimes you just got to get away from your settings and go train and do what you got to do. You know what I mean? And get out of that. Like even Tank went down Atlanta. You know what I mean? You know, he got out of Baltimore. He fight down Atlanta now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he was, but not to the point that, like I said, bottom line, he listens to Dirk James. We're not holding this conversation. We listen to Dirk James. We're not looking up and down Twitter talking about robbery. We're not listening. We're not looking at people talking about Al Haney, but the judges. We're not listening to none of that. If you do what Dirk James told you to do, none of that is going on right now. You know what I mean? Because even the rounds he gave away, even the rounds he was losing, he was only losing rounds because he was back into the ropes. You know what I mean? Dirk James said, man, stop backing up, stay on your front foot, push him back. You know what I'm saying? Which the same, put like this, he's going to have the same game plan for Earl when he fight Manny. Same game plan. But for those that screaming robbery, let me ask y'all a question. Why I got y'all here? Let me ask all y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. I want y'all to answer this question as honest as possible. Let's just say the same exact scenario plays out when Caleb Plant fights Canelo. The same exact scenario. Costano, Caleb Plant is Costano, and Canelo is Charlo. And they go to the cards. What are the cards going to say? Think about it. You know what I'm saying? If we have the same exact scenario with Caleb Plant and Canelo, what do you think the scorecard's gonna say? You think they're gonna give it to Caleb? Exactly. And the only reason I made that point, could be. You know what? To be honest with you, it could be. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, we can't. Us on the outside, we don't know what they felt. You know what I mean? Just like I'm gonna give you an example. Just like when Shakur was fighting his fight a month or so back, and everybody was criticizing him for not going to kill. And I said, man, listen, it was one round where he stepped up and the dude hit him with something, and he ran for the rest of the round. Like I said, to us it may not be nothing, but the person that felt it might be everything. Yeah, Costano may have took some of the dog out of him. He may have. It's possible. Because like I said, we don't know. Because all fighters will shake their head, be like, nah, that ain't hurt. Do all that. Yeah, but deep down that junk crushed them. So yeah, it maybe Costano did take a little bit of sauce off him. They took a little bit of sauce off him and made him think about what made him calculate his approach different. But then again, that's what it comes back down to what the sugar man said. You know what I mean? Jay knew Charlo took his toughest shots and could walk him down. Charlo was afraid to trust and excuse. Charlo has trust. Could be. That's not a bad assessment at all. That's not a bad assessment at all. He very well may have that going on. I'm not gonna say he didn't, man. I think that it very well could be that. You know what I'm saying? It very well could be that because like I said, man, it was there. It was there. I'm not mad at the draw. I think both of them left meat on the bone. I don't have a problem with it being called a draw. But like I said, man, I just want to see it again. I just want to see Charlo Costano too. I just want to see it. I don't want to see no mandatories. Don't do that to us. Like I said, a win is a win, but you live to fight another day. Yeah. But look, all in all, boxing is in a good place. For all the people that's complaining, boxing is ruined. Boxing is in a good place. We got plenty of fights to watch. This ain't gonna be the first time that you see this type of situation. It ain't gonna be the last, but we got plenty of fights to go, man. We got plenty more good fights. We got good stuff coming up on the horizon. We got some youngins. That's gonna get in the mix. Virgil Ortiz gonna be fighting the Mean Machine. Where should the fight be? Take it to Vegas. Nah, I can't go to Vegas. Can't go to Vegas. Let me see. They can't go to Vegas. They got to get out of Texas. You know what I mean? Hey, come to New York. Come to Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Let us ride up the street and catch that joke, man. Yeah, it definitely gonna be pay-per-view. We definitely paying for the rematch. No question. We definitely paying for the rematch. You know what I'm saying? We definitely paying for the rematch. That's no question. We paying for that. That's fine. That's fine. They earned the right. They earned the right to get a payday. They earned the right to get that, to get a payday, to make us pay for this joint. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know. What else y'all want to talk about, man? What else y'all want to chop it up about, man? We got a whole lot more stuff to do, but you know, what's hot with y'all right now? You know what I mean? But I think, listen, all in all, I don't think nobody should complain about the fight. I mean, the week before that, you paid for Conor McGregor, you only got one round. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get, oh yeah. Besides that 17 would have let me with the great fight. I would love to see it again. Yeah, yeah, we pay for that, joint. Get a couple dollars, fry the chicken, fight parties. Oh, wow, Furry hit a favorite. Well, for those that didn't know, right? For those that didn't know, when they fought Deontay Wilder, was it the first or second time? The first time, I think it's the first fight. When he fought Deontay Wilder the first time, he had 4 different trainers in his corner. He had Ben Davison, Freddie Roach was one of them. Freddie Roach was one of the people in that camp the first time, which that's not uncommon. To be honest with you, that's not uncommon. I don't think he's getting rid of Sugar Hill. I don't think he's getting rid of Sugar, but he may be adding Freddie to his camp. That's not uncommon because even Sean Porter father was training them, but he also had Barry Hunter. So that's not uncommon. That's not uncommon. So who knows what he's doing? Maybe he's reaching out to Freddie because maybe Freddie, you know, can bring him back focused the way he need to be focused. Maybe Freddie did some stuff in his first camp with Wilder to help him get himself back focused. Right now, he's clearly distracted. He's clearly got his mind on other things other than boxing. He's clearly like all over the place. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like people seeing him at casino with the same clothes he had on at the other, like yo, he's wilding right now, and he need to get back focused. So maybe that's what he hitting Freddie up first. But I definitely don't think he's leaving Sugar. You know what I mean? But if he do leave Sugar, that's even better. I would love for him to fight Deontay Wilder with just Freddie Roach. Then Deontay Wilder will knock him out this time. You know what I mean? Nothing against Freddie Roach, man, but you know, Sugar definitely was showing them some different stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, who Tank gonna fight in November? We don't know now. Probably Rolly. Probably Rolly. You know what I mean? Probably Rolly, man. Because I mean, Devin is fighting JoJo Diaz. T.O.'s fighting Loma. We might get Ryan Garcia. I doubt it though, man. I mean, I don't believe nothing in Ryan Garcia. Nothing. I mean, we've been waiting for Ryan Garcia since for forever now. I mean, you know, Ryan Garcia, you know, I don't think they believe in him. I don't think they trust him. I think that knockdown from Luke Campbell scared them to put him in the ring with the tougher guys. Tank, they was looking at JoJo Diaz. You know what I mean? And I can tell you it ain't gonna be the fight I want. It ain't gonna be Gary Antoine Russell because I talked to the Russells last week. I talked to the Russells last Monday, and I know who he's fighting next, and I'm not gonna announce it, but it's not gonna be Tank or AB. I can tell you that. You know what I mean? I can tell you that much. You know, he's not fighting Tank or AB, and so but he, you know, that's that. You know what I mean? Does he fight Josh Taylor? I think Ryan, if not, I don't think. See, here's the thing: Josh Taylor got to fight. Josh Taylor has the fight already pre-set up, so that takes him more to the table. And I think Ryan's going to fight a keep busy fight. You know, Ryan he probably fight Lenores now. You know what I mean? Now that Devin done fought about, that he'll fight Lenores to try to knock him out, to try to make like see, you know, something crazy like that. So Ryan, I don't believe in Ryan Garcia, and I don't think his company believe in him either. You know what I mean? 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 We'll do that PBC topic another time. We're not gonna do that today. You know what I mean? Too much to bust down. with the PBC topic, and how they just got attacked this whole weekend. You know what I mean? But like I said, bullet points, no problem with the draw. Need to do it again. We'll pay to see it. Need to get Bud out that contract. Let's get that fight. Let's get that fight together so he can go ahead as soon as Earl is finished with Manny. Let's set it up so they can run that fade with Bud and Earl, so we can go ahead and put this nonsense to the end. And then we just gotta figure out what everybody else gonna do in between. You know what I mean? We talking about maybe a Ugas Thurman showdown, which I wouldn't see. We talking Regis Prograis probably fight Mikey Garcia, JoJo Diaz. But matter of fact, what y'all think about JoJo Diaz and Devin Haney? I love that fight. Eh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's possible. Like I said, I think right now, Tank is going to probably fight a Keep Busy fight next. I don't think you're going to see a big fight from Tank's next. Just like you'll see a Keep Busy fight from Ryan Garcia, and then maybe late in the year or early next year, you'll get a big fight from Tank and them guys. And I think the next big fight of that group is going to be the Teofimo Loma rematch, and so on and so forth. But I don't think Tio can get out of that George Karbaskis fight because they locked and loaded. I don't think he can get out of that fight. I don't know how you're gonna get out of that fight. You know what I mean? I don't think the promoters is gonna let you not do that fight. You know what I mean? I don't see them doing that. So probably they're gonna have to fight that fight and then fight Lomachenko late in the year. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean. So with that being said, man, like I said, listen, real quick, for those y'all that just want to see people talk the talk, like I said, on Tuesday nights, they having boxing debates about a boxing versus on knockouts with Nakia, I don't want to say her name wrong, on YouTube channel. So some of the people that y'all see talking the talk on Twitter and Instagram and all that, they be getting on there and going for broke, debating the topics, with each other, see who really know what they're talking about. Y'all think I should get in there, man? Y'all think I should get in there? Listen, to be honest with y'all, they don't want me in there, man. They don't want me in there because, see, when I finally debate somebody, when they want to debate, man, I'm gonna debate y'all battle rap style. So I'm gonna break this thing down. Y'all gonna be thinking I'm spitting bars. I'm the way I'm boxing these dudes, and I'm just playing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a tough fight for Devin. I want to see Devin, how Devin reacts, because I just want to see how he is after he got buzzed. Does he make the necessary adjustment to not get buzzed again? Does he recruit to not letting his hands go? Like, after he got beat up by Mandana, I just want to see how Devin Haney look in his next fight. Does he change trainers to get to get more deep into it? Is he gonna spend more time with Floyd? It's a lot that we need to know, man. And I think JoJo is the one. No, I'm not. What? No, you not what? Getting on the boxing versus? That what you trying to say? I'm not gonna get in the boxing versus, or I'm not gonna break it down battle rap style. Which one I'm not gonna do? You know what I mean? Listen, if they give me the right person, it's a few of them guys on YouTube and Twitter. I would love to, I would love to get at on that boxing versus. Don't get it twisted. There's a few guys I like to get at, but it gotta be the right situation. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? JoJo is going to put pressure on him. Yeah, JoJo come to fight. JoJo come to bang. You know what I'm saying? JoJo come to bang. JoJo come to bang. I think it's a beautiful test. You know what I mean? I think it's a beautiful test. I wanted Devin to fight Gary Russell Jr. I wanted that. You know what I mean? I knew it was just rumors. Hold up. Stanky leg though. Okay. Yeah, Floyd got buzzed before. Floyd got buzzed against Chop Chop. Floyd got buzzed against Mandana one time, and Floyd got buzzed against Shane. But the difference is the very next round of those fights, and then against Chop Chop in the same round, Floyd regathered himself and went to work. You know, just like the Mandana fight, the next round he went right back to work against Shane. The very next round he went right back to work. Devin was still hugging Linares 3 rounds later. You know what I'm saying? 3 rounds later, he was still, you know what I mean? Type stuff. So that's what that is, man. That's what that is, man. But no, I ain't gonna hold y'all no more, man. I appreciate the support. Shout out to Boxing in DC. Shout out to my boys, Basement Boxing Talk, my man Black Star TV Sports. Shout out to them. Check them out on Saturday at 2 is Basement Boxing Talk. Sometimes I, get on those guys, and also at 11 o'clock on YouTube with my man Black Stars TV Sports. I'll be on there from time to time too, man, chopping it up. It's a nice little forum, and they be having some nice guests on there. You know what I mean? So a couple of weeks ago, I think Devin Haney, not Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, one of his trainers was on there talking with us. So yeah, man. And also check out the Boxing Versus on YouTube. So with that being said, man, it was fun, man. Dante, man, appreciate you. Talk Yo Little, appreciate you. Anthony Buckman Sr., appreciate you. All my boys from the Boxing, the DC, Troy, all y'all, man, appreciate y'all for being here, man. And definitely catch y'all on the next one. Hopefully next week we can get my man, AKA Before His Time, back up in here again too, man. Like I said, man, it's all a blast. And like I said, I'm working on these interviews, trying to work out these schedules. We might even, pop in another day this week with some interviews and all that, man. We're going to keep y'all posted, man. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, man. I did shout out Top Yo. I shout that. I can't say the whole saying, say the whole name of the show, man. But shout out to the Black Guy Media Room too, man. I ain't forget y'all. Shout out to the Black Guy Media Room, man. Just Different Podcast, Top Yo Podcast. We got a lot going on over here at Black Guy Media Room, man. Keep pressing, man. Y'all keep doing what you do. Out. One.